something to affect, to contain. The biggest wars that we have to fight is that we are sleeping to convert it. I want your advice on how we reach the whole country, how we reach everyone. Run for office. Be prepared to become a politician. Because the liberal left, I don't think, was devalued. Nobody was prepared to enter the platform that is to attack it.
I just want to respond to that because, I understand your point, but as a New Yorker, as an American, I've thought for years that we take for granted what our parents did. And to say that the peace movement devalued the radical left is absurd, because we don't appreciate that we can walk into a restaurant and sit down with whomever we want. We can ride on the train with whomever we want. It was the media, it was the conservative backlash, and I understand what you were saying about trying to access people, but saying that plays into the people who have taken away the value of what the civil rights movement and the gay rights and the women's movement have done. We can't use that kind of language to feed into that because it just supports it. And I think somebody applauding in the back, you may have your point of view, but why are we turning on people in a decade, in a couple decades, who fought, put their lives on their lines, who may be living in poverty, who may be suffering from drug use or diseases, for everything they lived during that time? I just have to say. Yeah.
But in addition to making that point about the left and the 60s and so on, I think she was asking the question, how do you reach the country? Isn't that right? How do you speak to the whole country? Especially when they don't let you. Especially, they don't, you noticed, they invite everybody to be an expert on CNN, on NBC, ABC, on the Little Era Report, and right? Do they ever invite Noam Chomsky? Once they did? Did they really? It's possible. It's possible he passed before your eyes in a flash. Yeah. But the point is, what's that? Oh, it had Susan Sontag. Well, that's good. This is not a totalitarian state. It's just a 90% control, you see. And there are apertures and openings. We have to take advantage of all those apertures and openings. But, mostly the major media are closed to us. But we have to use every possible way we can to spread the word and to call up on talk shows. Write letters to the editor. Try to infiltrate the major media before they know who you are and what you're doing. Speak to your friends and neighbors. The most important thing is for people to speak out, not to be quiet, not to be intimidated. Use the internet. I found that the email that I've been getting, I'm only recently in my life became aware of email. And I know some of you were born with email. Maybe, you were delivered through instructions on email, you see. But through email, I've been getting all sorts of information that I don't see in the press, that I don't see on major television networks. So there are ways to get things out, and if I hadn't read my email, I wouldn't know that there are families of people who died in New York in that tragedy, of families who are coming forward and saying, please don't bomb. That is not what my son would have wanted. That's not what my husband would have wanted. I wouldn't know about these families and their responses if I didn't have this means of communication. So we have to use every possible means we have. It's a tough uphill fight, but we've got to do it. Yes. I'm sorry. Mention people who what?
Acted as catalysts. Mention people who acted as catalysts more than commentators. Is that correct?
Yeah.
As catalysts more than commentators.
Yeah.
Right.
Artists that are acted as catalysts.
You mean artists who are activists?
Not just artists who are active, but artists who are active through their artwork.
Oh, activists through their artwork.
You talk about people who speak out, but
Yeah.
you give, when you think of examples of people who were influential in their artwork, that actually influenced people and changed them.
Well,
John Lennon is to anybody.
what's that?
John Lennon is to anybody.
Great Against the Machine.
Billy Bragg, Ani DeFranco, Eddie Vedder of Pearl Jam speaks out from time to time.
My follow-up question is,
Yeah.
I think we all think about, as artists, preaching to the converted and just, expressing ourselves without anyone paying attention. Have you thought about what qualities make an work of art influential to people who otherwise wouldn't listen?
Don't worry about controlling other people, just say it. I think. Use your voice. We can't control the whole world, but if we all speak up, we all speak up.
It's also how you speak up. You would sound like you were coming from a perspective of anger before, and it should come from a perspective of, for lack of a better word, love. So it come from that perspective. That way you're not repeating a pattern. So that was my objection to it before. There's evil is a lack of empathy, many people think.
Hey, I want to say something. Before anybody else leaves, I think that if you're kind of lost like I am on how to do, what to do, I think the best thing that you can do is look for the truth yourself and to just keep informed. That's the best thing, is to just go for all sources of information. Just keep yourself informed. That's your duty as citizens of this country.
By the way, do you all, I forget, was it announced the Copley Square rally on Sunday?
There's a group called Space that is having a meeting at the basement of the Kennedy Building right after this, like at 8 o'clock. And they're artists, and they're trying to organize other artists to think about these issues in their work. So I recommend, if you guys are interested, going and seeing the joint the meeting. What was the other?
Well, this Sunday, 3 o'clock, Copley Square, there's going to be a gathering of people speaking out against the war.
There's also a citywide group, and I'm not remembering their name right now, but I think that they meet at 7 o'clock on Mondays. And there's also a group called the Boston Campus Anti-War Coalition, that's students from campuses all over Boston that are meeting at 12:30 this Sunday at 96 Stevens Street at Emerson College. And we've been meeting every Sunday to talk and organize things. So anybody that wants to come out, you don't have to be a student, anyone that wants to come out there, it's 12:30 this Sunday, 96 Stevens Street.
Larry, you spoke very eloquently.